everybody, welcome to week 10. Congratulations, you've just about got one more course under your belt. This week we're going to kind of wrap things up. You've looked at a lot of aspects of databases, and this week we're going to take a look at distributed databases. And before you begin the week, and sometimes throughout the homework assignments or discussion threads, I've kind of pointed you guys at Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud-based implementation of MS SQL. And there's cloud-based implementations of Oracle. We can obviously build distributed databases using MySQL and things. So, but I want you to take a look at Azure, and I've actually used it as a developer. I created some simple programs and things when I was doing my cloud book, and it's pretty cool. It can get pretty expensive. Like now, month 3, they billed me $250. I didn't think I had done anything yet, so I'm not necessarily a Microsoft fan with what they're charging me to use it. But it's a cloud-based database. It's automatically replicated. They take care of a lot of the nonsense for you. And so from a lot of perspectives, it's a pretty great solution. And if we're creating applications, we can connect to it. And the process is pretty straightforward. We just use TCP/IP, and it's actually hidden by .NET and things that will allow us to use any framework or any other mechanism just to do direct queries to it. So we just create a connection string to the database, and we're good to go. So take a look at Azure as you're thinking about distributed databases. And then I want you to think about, because a lot of times we create .NET applications or ASP.NET pages, or we have server-based applications that connect to a database. So I want you to think about, because in the future, our clients should be smarter, and we should not necessarily have to have operating systems and things running. We should just have applications that run within a browser. So maybe Windows and things will go away someday, and we'll just have a browser that starts when we fire up our computer, and we'll talk to SAS-based software that does things. But I want you to think, if I had to create a web page, and that web page needed to interact with a database, but I didn't want to do client-server traditional things, meaning I didn't want to display a form, put in some data, click submit, have it interact with a database, and then send me back data or store the data that I submitted to it. But rather, I had just a web page. Now, that web page needed to pull information from a database. How would you do that? And then I want you to take a look and drill down a little bit on Ajax and say, okay, how can I write JavaScript? So my only programming language is JavaScript, which means I'm doing it in a web page that uses Ajax to interact with a remote database. Now we're really starting to talk database distribution, and that's starting to become pretty cool. So as you think about this week, I don't want you to just think about, okay, we're going to do traditional client-server-based things. I want you to think about, no, let's take the server out and move. We can have a database server sitting out there, but I just want to have clients. And the clients use JavaScript, and within JavaScript they use Ajax, and somehow some interaction goes on between that and a database server. So how would you actually do that? And so that's going to be your assignment for the week, is to talk about distributed databases. And I don't think you can do that today without talking about Azure. Then, within your first discussion thread, you're going to talk about some key database context. And so, from deadlocks to fragmentation to indexing to foreign key constraints, think about something critical and start to drill down on it. And if you don't think that these are real-world issues, I have a lot of friends who are database people, and they were just dealing this week with they're getting frequent. And I think if you get one deadlock throughout a month, you've got one deadlock too many. And they're getting multiple deadlocks per week. And so I was really pissed off at him. I said, that's unacceptable. You just got to fix that. Go find out what's causing a deadlock and fix it. And then we drilled down on some of their indexing issues, and we talked about some of their fragmentation issues. And some of the indexes were being recreated on a regular basis, which were leading to fragmentation issues. So there's some interesting topics that are actually real-world topics that you would see on a regular basis if you're working with databases. So take discussion thread 1 seriously. Discussion thread 2, again, is going to look at distributed databases. And again, bring Ajax into that conversation. I want to know how you would do that. So again, great job. If you missed an assignment, submit it. If you missed a discussion thread, submit it and email me and negotiate. Let's get everybody caught up and wrapped up this week. Again, great job on getting through the course. I look forward to seeing your work this week, and I'll see you in the discussion threads.